Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Paranormal Ripples. I am Ray, and this is Abandoned Legacies, episode 17, I believe. Um, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about abandoned asylums from all over the world. You know, mental asylums, places where they locked up people. Um, Thanks, mate. And what I'm going to be talking, like I said, I'm going to be talking about abandoned asylums. So, as always, if you enjoy it, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share with everyone, and comment if there's any ideas or anything you think I should be talking about. Um, Talking of things, I'm going to be tomorrow. I'm going to be doing an haunted hours special for 21, where I'm going to be delving into 30 East Drive with a few friends, as we're going to be planning on going there in early next year. So make sure you catch that. Um, but yeah, I've going on to what we're going to be talking about now, abandoned asylums. Um, yeah, spooky places, I'd say, because you don't know what has been going on in them. Basically, there's been a lot of neglect, abuse. It's sad, really, on some of these places. But what I've got here is 18 places that are abandoned psychiatric hospitals, and then I'm going to look at some more asylums that are abandoned. I've got some in America, mainly Wales. There's one in Wales, um, one in Italy and Korea, another one in Wales. So yeah. So without further ado, I'm going to do thing, but before I do, you need to just do one thing. Um, Will, you are now mod on my channel on here as well. So welcome for now my first official mod of the YouTube. So everyone go over and check him out anyway. Even though he says that he's on post, he's going to be doing some stuff. So on his channel soon, hopefully with the paranormal. So go check him out. Everyone who's just joining, hello. Right. So these are the psychiatric hospitals. Oh, one button, silly idiot, right? Here we go. So psychiatric hospitals. So prior to the 19th century, there was little distinction between lunatic asylums, as the primitive mental health facilities were known, poorhouses, and jails. Those unable to fit into society were shut away in these squalid facilities. So basically tight, but basically we were put in there and thrown away the key. Basically, no one cared. Any type of disability or that. Basically, I would have been thrown in there just for having dyslexia. Um, you know, it's really sad. Um, Sometimes for their entire lives. Look, the Kirkbride plan was introduced in the mid 19th century to get rid of all that, a more humane approach to mental health. This plan focused on care and treatment in psychiatric institutions rather than mere containment. Open buildings and rehabilitative programs involving art, farming, and therapy improved the lives of individuals with mental illness who lived at one of the rash of new hospitals that opened in the late 1800s. While this was undoubtedly an improvement on the conditions of previous mental health care, Kirkbride-style facilities were overpopulated, though, understaffed, and yet again became a dumping ground for people with developmental disabilities. Reports of maltreatment became increasingly common, though, especially in the 1950s and 60s, when there was sedative pharmaceutical treatments. So yeah, basically anesthetic, go to sleep. Basically, they can abuse them and do whatever they wanted, which is fucking sick. I'm sorry. It still goes on to this day in some places and makes me fucking mad. The institutions were defunded though, and community-based treatment facilities eclipsed the imposing prison-like Victorian hospitals. Hundreds of psychiatric institutions though opened between the mid 1800s and the 1910s, most of which were abandoned during deinstitutionalization. Few of these ruins are still around. Many, though, were converted into condos, schools, and museums, with others slated for demolition in the near future. But the ruins of some abandoned asylums still stand, though, and there are 18 places where you can explore the ghosts of psychiatric history. So, yeah. First, we have the Willard Asylum for the chronic insane in Ovid, New York. I know. Here you go, mate. You got your modding stuff now. On here. Dick, look at this. I'm gonna go through the pictures and then I'll go through the article. But look at this, man. Yep. Everyone who's just joining, hello. Please subscribe if you haven't already and interact in the chat. We're talking about abandoned asylums today. Look at that, the Maples building, man. Oh, the dentist did it. A doctor's table with stirrups, so they didn't move. Look, man. Just a thing, look, dentist chair, look. Beauty salon. It's heart-wrenching, you know, because of what you know what's happened down there in these places. Farmland, look. The morgue. Operating room in the morgue. Look. The overgrown cemetery. At the asylum. You know what I mean? Oh, it's crazy. Look, man. The attic. Suitcases were left there. Look. Look at them, man. And these are people's grandparents or ancestors or great grandparents, you know. Could be anything, great uncles. They could have all stayed here at one point. Look, man. A gurney. Look. So let's see what this has to say for itself, shall we? The stately Victorian buildings may be falling to pieces, but the contents inside them betray a lot about the sometimes happy and sometimes tragic lives of patients at the Willard Asylum for the chronic insane. Though asylums often carry connotations of dark and torturous existences, Willard and other institutions like it were intended to be a better alternative to systems in place for taking care of the mentally ill. In the early 19th century, though, those without anyone to care for them and incapable of taking care of themselves were left to almshouses, well, which were basically shelters, which were overcrowded and under-resourced. In response to these squalid conditions, New York Surgeon General Dr. Sylvester Willard proposed a state-run hospital for the insane. Abraham Lincoln, of all people, signed off on this, though, for a mere 6 days before his death. Willard welcomed its first patient in 1869 by a woman of the name Mary Rolt, described as demented and deformed, who had spent 10 years confined to an almshouse. The theme of horrific neglect would follow inpatients admitted later. One girl had been shackled in a cell since childhood. Another patient arrived at Willard in a chicken crate. How fucking wrong, man. The dreadful situations patients were arriving from, coupled with a lack of understanding for the mental disability, meant that Willard essentially became a dumping ground for undesirables. Sorry, it's making me mad. Patients of afflictions range from severe mental and physical handicaps just to common afflictions today like nervousness, chronic to acute insanity, feeble-mindedness, and lunacy. The asylum was built in the same style as many other Victorian institutional facilities. The campus was divided into a men and women's side, a violent and a non-violent end. Admin buildings sat in the middle. The land had originally been designated for agricultural purposes, so the hospital ran its own farm and with crops grown and tended by patients. There was also a bowling alley here, movie theatre, gym, and patients took part in camp-like activities like sewing classes. It was still a hospital though, and there were the entire buildings devoted to treatments like electroshock therapy and ice baths, as well as what I just talked about. It's crazy. There you go. After Geraldo Rivera's 1972 expose at Willowbrook Asylum, famous one, numbers in large institutions declined sharply. Willard discharged its final patient in 1995 and shut its doors for good. Now, some of its buildings are used as training facilities and dorms by the Department of Correctional Facilities, which maintains the grounds, but many of them have been left to rot for so long that they are totally unusable. My God. That's so fucking fucked up, man. The stories that these buildings could tell, though, if there's anyone haunting here, you know. Hello, everyone. Come in. Come in. We're friendly. How is everyone? Next, we have Zelda Fitzgerald's abandoned sanatorium in Beacon, New York. Look at this place. Look at that, man. So, how is everyone who's watching? No, you're all right, Will. If you're enjoying this, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Blue now, mirror left there. Look at this place. Bloody hell. Bloody face. Can't graffiti that. That's crazy, this one. You know? So a few miles outside of the town of Beacon in upstate New York, look, is an empty Victorian mansion. Once built for the Civil War officer General Howland, or Joseph Howland, in 1859 and called Tiaranda, the Gothic house was turned into America's first privately licensed psychiatric hospital in 1915, closing its doors 16 years ago. 16 years ago! See what I mean? Damn! It has lain abandoned ever since. Everyone, like I said, this is horrific. Bordering the forest of the islands overlooking the Hudson River, the hospital was surrounded by over 60 acres, including a now deserted swimming pool, gymnasium, and golf course. Today, Rook's Nest in the empty spires, disturbed by no one, once reserved for the very wealthy. This is a sanatorium where a desperate F. Scott Fitzgerald took his beloved wife Zelda in search of a cure. Yeah, F. Scott Fitzgerald. I think he's the one who wrote The Great Gatsby, weren't he? I believe. I could be wrong. Yeah, there you go. Great Gatsby. And The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I thought I don't recognise that name. Clarence Slocum. Oh my God, what a mouthful. That's what she said. Was a Scottish doctor who specialised in progressive attitudes towards treating mental health. Renaming the building Craig House, Slocum, followed by his son Jonathan, we believed that his patients could be cured by intensive talk therapy, coupled with fine dining and recreational pursuits like golf, skiing, painting, etc. For decades, it was America's most prestigious rehabilitation home, the perfect haven for patients to be cured. Or so they think. In reality, it was a place of great sadness and despair. Frances Seymour, the wife of Henry Fonda and mother to Jane Fonda, committed suicide here. Fucking hell. Cutting her throat with a razor in one of the turrets in 1942. God damn. God bless her soul. Rosemary Kennedy was sent here after a controversial lobotomy when she was just 23 that left her with a mental age of 2. My God. In early 1934, suffering from the early stages of schizophrenia, Zelda was convalescing in the Phipps Clinic, part of Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. F. Scott Fitzgerald was editing the galleys of Tender Is the Night, drawing on his wife's letters to form the character of the beautiful and doomed Nicole Driver. Zelda read the early draft of the novel and was distraught. She was placed under constant supervision for fear she would take her own life. Oh my God. You used your wife as her inspiration for... That's some next level fuckery there. So F. Scott Fitzgerald decided to move her to Craig House, and Dr. Slocum, an archive of their correspondence and of treatment, is available at Princeton University Library and made for poignant reading. He wrote, I left my capacity for open on the little roads that led to Zelda's sanitarium. She would spend her time there playing golf and painting in between sessions with Dr. Slocum. She wrote to Scott, there is everything on earth available, and I have little room to paint in with a window higher than my head, the way I like windows to be. But for Zelda, sadly, there was no cure that would be found among the sloping lawns and green fairways. The monthly fees of this hospital were $750, which was highly expensive back in 1934, and for struggling authors such as Scott, the condition worsened for her and the bills became unmanageable. So Scott arranged to have her moved to a cheap hospital in Asheville, North Carolina. But the last letter Zelda ever wrote to Scott would be from Craig House. Whenever you are ready to make the change, I will be ready to go. I am awfully homesick in spite of the beauties of this place. Oh my god. The lives of the golden couple of the jazz age ended in tragedy though. Seeing each other for oh my god. Seeing each other for the last time in 1938, Scott then decided to move to Hollywood to work as a writer, where his increasing alcoholism led to his death in 1940. Zelda died 8 years later in 1948 when a fire broke out in the kitchen at Asheville Hospital, locked in her room, awaiting electroshock therapy. She burnt to death. Oh my god. That is sad. The once exclusive hospital closed in 1999, but the tragedy of the house doesn't end there. It was bought in 2003 by Robert Wilson, a Wall Street hedge fund manager. In December of 2013, aged 87 and recently diagnosed with a stroke, he jumped out of the window of his Upper West Side apartment building to his death. Visiting today is a silent and haunting place. The inside remains perfectly preserved, as though the good doctor and his glamorous patients had suddenly just left the room. As Zelda, at her most troubled, wrote to her beloved husband, the sense of sadness and of finality in leaving a place is a good emotion. I love the story. I love that the story can't be changed again, and one more place is haunted. Old sorrows and our half-forgotten happiness are stored where they can be recaptured. Dang, that is sad. Let me know what you guys think, but my god, that is mental. And then you have a couple of others like Gonjiam Psychiatric in Gwangju, South Korea. Then we have Harlem Valley Psychiatric in Wingdale, New York. Now this one, Paul Park, I believe I've mentioned on this show. Pardon me. Because I was talking about Roofing Castle, I believe, on a show. If I haven't, I've tend to be corrected. But this is what it looks like. Look, there's only 5 pictures available for this one. Look. Look. Believe they do ghost hunts in this place. Paul Park Asylum. Believe they do ghost hunting. There you go. No, there you go. That's why. Because they opened up a second location to house overflow patients from the nearby Denver Insane Asylum, the super haunted one. There you go. Paul Park. This was the second asylum, but the first one, Denver, that is incredibly haunted. I think that's the one I talked about. There. That's the one I believe I talked about. Excuse me, everyone. Then we have like I said, Rockhaven Sanitarium, Medfield State Hospital, which I'm going to look at for you. Look, it's sad how some of these places are, isn't it? Look at that, man. The size of it. Would anyone do a paranormal investigation here? Like any of these places? The gate to knowledge closed by a paper cover, new realities. Look, man. It's like during the snow, look. pausing my journey through a transitionary world to entreat magic. My God. She died last week. I extend my hand. You bear hug. Grieving grace allow sounds. Astounds. That's crazy, man. They served for over 100 years. This one, the Medfield State Hospital, was founded in 1892 and for over 100 years served as a self-sustaining institution and community for thousands of mentally ill patients until closing its doors in 2003. Medfield State Hospital was designed under the cottage plan, and at its peak consisted of 58 mostly bricked buildings spread across a large campus. Since closing the hospital, the location has served for motion pictures such as Shutter Island, The Box, Knives Out as well, and the town of Medfield officially purchased the hospital back in 2014 in December of 2014 under the future and the future of this magnificent historical site is uncertain. But for now, what better place to have a picnic than at the open grounds of an abandoned asylum? That is crazy, man. And it is very nuts, you know? Then we have then we have Letchworth Village. That this if you want to go to an haunted asylum, everyone, one of them is there, Letchworth. This place is incredibly haunted. Look, man. Like I say, if you're enjoying the video, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and like the video. I'd appreciate it. Trying to get to 150 subs by the end of the year. You know? But if you want to go to an incredibly haunted asylum, everyone, Letchworth Village. You gotta go. I've seen videos there which are incredibly telling. Like, I want to go over there just to investigate one day, but you know. This is one of the most famous ones though, because they tested the polio vaccine on people, and it's like really sad, you know. No, my God, look at that! Someone's name even been left on the thing. But yeah, like I said, if you want to go to an haunted location, go to Letchworth Village if you're in America. Because this place, I've seen videos galore. Haunting is like there in this place because they tested a polio vaccine here for people, unbeknownst to them, and basically, yeah, look, man, look how decrepit and that it looks, man. Look, we see you. Oh, good. Hmm, you need your voices there, but look, man, they need their voices told as well. Look, red one. Look at that, man. But yeah, look up Letchworth Village haunted. You'll see the videos galore. Look at a stairway. Oh, here you go. About 40 miles north of Manhattan is quite an unassuming place in Fells, New York. Nestled in the rolling hills of Rockland County, not far from the Hudson River, it has a peaceful small town feel. This hamlet, but in 1911 it was chosen to be the home of a progressive experiment, a utopian village where the mentally ill could find calm and refuge. The institution would take care of 2,000 patients in a complex of over 130 buildings spread over 2,000 acres, and it boasted an acre for every patient, and it was called Letchworth Village. The majority of patients here was children, which was even more fucked up. Um, I'll leave you to read that because some of this is tough. But here you go. There you go. The most famous case was experimental polio vaccine, which was successfully tested on an 8-year-old boy in 1950, and testing was subsequently carried out on more children. And the success of the vaccine at Letchworth ushered in the widespread use that we still see today. It may also help explain why there was also a little outrage at the time. Yeah, the polio vaccine was tested at Letchworth on the disabled and handicapped. It was fucked up. No, they finally closed in 1996 after years of reports of abuse, see, neglect, and abysmal conditions. Like, it's messed up, man. You know? Like, making me sick to the stomach, just thinking about it. Network finally closed, like I say, 1996 after years of reports of abuse, neglect, and abysmal conditions. The closing came on the heels of a successful human rights campaign after the infamous Willowbrook Asylums case in Staten Island that was reported by Gerardo Rivera in his groundbreaking expose, which also featured horrifying glimpses into Letchworth. The full truth of what happened here will never be known, but one thing is not in doubt is in evidence about a mile from Letchworth, a small cemetery hidden in the forest of Cool Hollow Road, comprised of about 900 shallow graves, most of them about the size of a child. and they were only numbered. Following a report in the New York Times about the graveyard, public outcry eventually led to a memorial, which lists those who are buried there under the inscription, "Those who shall not be forgotten." Yeah, 900 graves the size of children, man. Shallow graves. God. And then they finally, after a report in the New York Times, they finally managed to do something, but it's messed up, man. Abuse, neglect, abysmal conditions here. Makes you sick to the stomach. Like I said, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I'd appreciate it. And then you have more, then you have Forest Haven if you want to have a look at it. Then you have Hospital Psychiatrico di Volterra in Volterra, Italy, which you want to have a look at. Several Asylum. I don't know where this one is. In England, Mile End, England. I mean, in Essex. Nuts. More in New York, Denver, Insane Asylum. That's the haunted one. Go and have a look at it, guys, if you don't know. And then there's more like Art Island, Fernald State School, the New York City Farm Colony, With a View, Transit Allegheny, the Lunatic Asylum, which is also haunted. But these are some of them. And obviously there's more if you look on Google and put in abandoned asylums. Look. We have Newsham Park Hospital in Liverpool. I believe that's in Liverpool. Yeah, Newsham Park Hospital, Liverpool. That's haunted. We have towers in Liverpool, in Leicester. Well, we had. I know I've talked about some of these places in hospitals and that. You know, when I talk about abandoned hospitals and that, but I wanted to talk more about the asylums and that. You know, today. Um, hang on, just checking something. Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. This one is a quite disturbing an episode. I know it's upsetting, but I really haven't get to push this out to more people, you know. So please, you know, no, even Australia has one, man. Um, View Gallery, look, Philadelphia, look. There you go. The Beechworth Lunatic Asylum in Victoria, Australia. See, other ghosts have allegedly been spotted here. Look, Matron Sharp, who is also reported here, but you know, I'll just have a look. Like I said, there's some of your bloody I'm not saying it could be true, but some of your like ancestors could be from around here, you know, or been in one of these places in time, you know. It's just sad just to think of that they had to go through that, you know. Like it's really sad, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this part here. Like I said, I'm getting really upset and emotional about it. Thank you so much for everyone who's watched and that this episode. If you're already watching, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment on what else you want me to talk about. Share this video everywhere, and it'd be a great help because I want to improve. I want to get this channel growing. Check out my TikTok and my Facebook pages, please. And yeah, love and be kind to everyone. Respect everyone. But most of all, and I'll take away from this with the asylums, disability is normal now, thank God. But there's still some places like this in the world. Just keep an eye on your loved ones, because I wouldn't want to be left alone in one of these places. And I don't think for sure one of them would love to be told, oh, it's just in your head, basically, if they tell you, oh, I'm getting abused or something, or they're scared to tell you, you know. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Love and be kind. Remember, bye bye.